So yeah, you've sent me more of your FM24 saves, some of the most dominant saves that are able to be achieved in FM24. And guess what? I'm gonna look at them. Come on. Okay, then the first save that we're going to have a look at has been sent in by Insurgent7404, which is a very serious name, actually. He is currently in the year 2068 in his Football Manager save and has sent us in with the following description. As always, I ask people to send in the saves and then also give a bit of a description. Describe your save, which team you're at, why is it special, best achievements, standout players, etc. He says, the teams I've managed are Girona, Frankfurt, Wolves, Toulouse, VTSC in Portugal, and Pescara. So Pescara being the most recent one here. Let's go to the manager history and have a look at the job history there. This is the career then so far. Let's go all the way back to the beginning now and have a look at the journey that Insurgent has been on over the many, many years. Something like, what, 45-year career that he's been on now. He started in Girona in Spain then at the beginning and finished second actually in his first season, it seems. Then won the league and then won the league a couple more times before he left. First to take the Mexico job, or I guess probably at the same time. He took the Mexico job and then also the Frankfurt job in Germany. Let's have a look at how he describes this save. He says, I like to make clubs dominant at the top level, leave, and then do it all over again. I suppose we've seen that already. We can see that he's won the league 3 times in his 6 seasons in Spain with Girona and then left to go and do it all over again in Germany with Frankfurt. He actually says, the only team I somewhat failed at doing this was with Girona, although I still won titles and Champions Leagues. Let's just check. When did he win the Champions League in here? These are the competitions. He won the Champions League that season and the Champions League in his final season as well. I wouldn't really say has he failed? Is this not dominant? Winning the league 2 years in a row and then second the year before that. I mean, maybe it's just not quite the longevity that he wants for the full domination, but I'd still say that's pretty dominant, no? He says, at Frankfurt, I won the title 4 years in a row, and that is true. He finished second, then he won the league 4 times in a row. I assume there's going to be Champions Leagues on here as well. There's there's at least 2 in there. There's also a European Championship with Spain there after leaving Mexico. Did he win anything with Mexico? Doesn't look like it. He's doing an international career alongside the club career quite clearly here. I wish you could actually filter this so we could see just clubs, but you can't. Either way, we're going to look at it on this screen because I think it does tell the story a little bit, doesn't it? At Frankfurt, he says he won the title 4 years in a row and then that they went on to win 13 titles in a row, which is outrageous. Let's see if we can find that spell here. I mean, they've won it loads of times, look, over the course of the season. So he's saying that he won these first 4 here and then they went on and added an extra 10 in a row before losing to Dortmund. I mean, even after that, look, they won it twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6. I mean, they were still one of the most dominant teams. Most recently, though, in the 2060s, look, it's become Leipzig as the best team and Bayern Munich are kind of still there. Who's actually won the most league titles now? Is it still, yeah, Bayern have won 42. You'd imagine that, okay, they've probably got a bit of a way to go, but maybe they can overtake them eventually in this save. Who knows? After that, though, it looks like he jumped to Wolves in the Premier League and immediately finished 4th. Now, we don't know what state Wolves were in when he actually took over, because this would have been, I mean, what year was it? It was in 2034-35 anyway. He then finished second twice before winning it in the 4th season with them. Won a lot of Manager of the Month there and also did win the Champions League. I thought he would. I just knew going across then he's made such a strong team that he would have won other competitions. He won the Premier League, the Champions League and the Carabao Cup that season and then won the Premier League for the next 3 seasons afterwards. So 4 in a row, I assume, because I haven't actually read the description of this, but also winning Champions Leagues in there. There wasn't one that season. There was another one then, though. Yeah, there was. And then he also won another European Championship, this time with England. He did win it with Spain before, didn't he? Has he won a World Cup yet? That's a Nations League. Is that an Olympics? He did win the Olympics with the under-23s as well. I love doing that. That was something that I did in my journeyman save as well. I think it was the Netherlands we took to the European to Olympic glory with the under-23s. So he's here now at this stage in the 2030s into 2040. He's at Wolves winning, I mean, that is outrageous. 7 Manager of the Months in a season and also Manager of the Year. That final year winning didn't win the Champions League final year. That's a bit of a letdown, isn't it? With England there, what's that? That is a Nations League as well. We'll have a look at what competitions he's won as well. We'll look at the career history page, I think, at the end. I just want to go through what actually happened with the rest of the career here. He then went to Toulouse in France, finished second and then won the league, then finished second and then won the league. I think that shows that actually he's very, very dominant, is Insurgent here, isn't he? But also, I know how you guys always approach these videos. You like to kind of go through things with a fine tooth comb and decide, has there been save scumming going on here? He's not won the league every year. Does that make you feel like he's being legitimate here? It is possible to go and win these things. And he's obviously put a lot of time into this save. Can we actually see the game status here? We'll get back to this in a second. He has played this game for 30 days and 13 hours. Repetitive strain injury. Anyone? He saved it 2,877 times, which I have no idea if that's a thing because autosaves exist, don't they? And he's so far in the future that who knows whether that tells us anything. Also, I say this every time, but also you can play this game however you like. I am certainly not here to judge, but I know that you guys do like to ask that question in the comments down below, and I do like to read them. So there we go. Let me know. What do you think for this save here? At Toulouse then, he also moved to Italy. Didn't win anything at Italy for a while. Did in the end win the Nations League and the World Cup. There's a World Cup title. The first one we've seen. There may have been one before, but he has won the World Cup in 2046 with Italy. Whilst at Toulouse and whilst winning the French League for many years in a row. Does he actually explain? I mean, there's loads more. There's a very long bit of text to read through about this save. He says, after winning the league 4 times at Frankfurt, he went to Wolves and then he got them to stay at the top for a long time. But the Premier League became more competitive. That meant that they weren't winning the league every season. So is that after he left? I assume it means after he left. So maybe part of the save is that he wants to make the teams dominant even after he leaves them. Maybe that's part of what he's trying to achieve here. Then says he moved to Toulouse and won many more league titles and 6 or 7 Champions Leagues in a row. We'll have a look at the Champions League history, won't we? And then he went to Vitória in Portugal. At Vitória, he won the league immediately, look. And oh my word, that is outrageous. 10 manager of the month out of what must be 12 and manager of the year. And I assume won the league. Didn't it even win? Oh, he did win the league, yeah. Does it say it there? Yeah, the bet click. I thought that was for some reason the cup there. He won the league and one of the cups and then went back to England and won a Nations League and a European Championship as well. At Vitória, look, he won the league every single season he was there between the years of 2051 and 2061. So for 10 years in a row, he's winning the league in Portugal, whilst also being the England manager before moving on to Pescara, who were in, actually, look, did they get relegated to Serie B? I don't know what's happened there, but he took over, not finished the season, then he won Serie B with them. Does he explain that in his description here? Maybe he does. I've managed some national teams: Mexico, Spain, England, France, Italy, England again, and Portugal. In total, all right, he's actually added it up for us. He's won 163 trophies at club and national level, with only one being a lower tier, so Serie B in his first season at Pescara. So he did win Serie B in his first season. I like that as a little extra thing. Imagine winning that many league titles, having won the World Cup and won the Premier League loads of times and Italy loads of times, etc. Going to the second division in Portugal. I quite like it. And this is where he's been since and has won the league loads of times in the Serie A as well. I want to find, actually, Champions League wise, 143 trophies. Is that a dominant start? Does that say that we found a really dominant Football Manager save to begin with today? I've got 4 more, by the way, and all of them are pretty dominant and quite interesting, I think. Champions League history, though, I do just want to see this here. These are the past winners. Pescara have won it now. I mean, we can see the clubs that he used to be at. There's Vitória in there, like 6 wins in there. Toulouse, very dominant. I like the way that Vitória won it, obviously after he went there. Then Toulouse won it again, his old team, and maybe even beat him in the final. Oh no, it wasn't. It was Wolves in the final that year, wasn't it? Who was actually also another one of his former teams. You can see that Toulouse and Vitória kind of interchanging them a little bit here as well. Toulouse, very dominant. Wolves, very dominant. Frankfurt, very dominant. All of the teams that he was at. It was only really Girona who weren't as, I mean, they won it twice. So I'm going to give you that. You said that was the one where you failed at. I'm not going to let you have that. I think you've not failed there. You won the Champions League with Girona. History, though, I did want to see this here. Overview. 6 club jobs, 7 national team jobs. He has spent £6.94 billion, but sold players overall a net profit for £8.4 billion. He spent £200 million on a man called Alan Murphy, who I assume was at Wolves for him and scored 19 goals in 231 games. What was he? He's a centre midfielder. He had 110 caps for England. He was probably quite good, wasn't he? He sold a player for 210 million, Diego Vergara. That's fun. He's now the manager at Frankfurt, who's one of his former teams, even though Vergara himself didn't actually play for them. Oh no, he did. That's really cool. I don't know if you brought him in here and made him really good, but then Liverpool bought him. But yeah, this was you. You sold him for £210 million. So he's actually gone back there and become the manager. I mean, I obviously like that as a story in saves, don't I? He's then overall won 129 cups, 34 leagues, and been promoted once. 80% win percentage, 2,877 games played, 2,311 wins. That's pretty dominant. Fair play to you, Insurgent. And thank you very much for sending your save in. Let's go through to our second save and another pretty dominant one. Before we continue, I must say a big thank you because today's video is sponsored by FM Kit Creator. They've sponsored our videos before. It is a tool that I use all the time. It's my favorite tool for Football Manager 2024. It is your way to create brilliant bespoke kits for your Football Manager saves that don't just look amazing on the homepage of your club, but as the 3D kits in the game that you see your actual little players running around wearing. I've been using it to make the kits for my DOF save that we've been running recently, DOF to Glory. Recently making these kits for Wigan, who I think you'd agree are just beautiful, aren't they? It's genuinely so easy to use, and I remember back in the day thinking, I want new kits for my Football Manager save. I need to go and find someone and pay somebody to go and make them for me. I just don't anymore because the kits that I can create using this tool are brilliant, and it is so simple to use. You really can't go wrong. So there is a link to the site in the description of today's video. I implore you to go and try it, see how easy it is, and just make your FM saves just look better and more real, because no team keeps the same kit for like 40 years whilst you're playing your really dominant saves like in this video, right? So yeah, thank you FM Kit Creator. Back to your saves. Our second save is actually really similar to the first one, and it's been sent in by Jamie, and we're in the year 2058. We are currently managing, or Jamie's currently managing, Victoria Berlin in Germany, and is just off the back of, well, he's top of the league at the moment, and I assume he's just off the back of winning the league last season. Can I see that? Did you win the league? No, he's actually just been promoted to the Bundesliga and hasn't actually won the league yet. But this particular part of the save isn't what Jamie wanted to tell us about. He has said the following. His description is actually a lot shorter, so I can probably read you the entire thing here. He says, I have completed an insane FM mission. And that sounds like one of my YouTube titles. I'm not going to lie to you. My goal was to win the top 5 leagues with clubs who would never usually win the league in real life. And he says he has done this with Freiburg, Toulouse, Wolves, Genoa, and Alaves. Can you see how similar some of those clubs are? Wolves and Toulouse were both in the previous save that we looked at, weren't they? This time, though, he's added Freiburg, Genoa, and Alaves. He says he's created insane teams, and it was cool as the save went on to see how my previous teams developed on their own, which is, again, something that the previous save by Insurgent was also kind of doing, trying to create these legacies even after they've left. We saw that with like Frankfurt, who went on and won 14 league titles in a row, wasn't it? He then adds, you could look into my time at Wolves, which became the best team in the world, and we will do that. Absolutely. In fact, let's go to your manager history here, job history. So it starts off at Freiburg, and you won the league for the first time in your 5th season at the club. That tells me that's a good sign. That means that there's a proper rise there before you became dominant. Then didn't win it the second season afterwards as well. Then didn't finish the season because you moved to Toulouse, look, in the 2nd division. So actually, this is fun. Already dropping down that league, getting them promoted, winning a league there, but then eventually, I hope anyway, eventually winning the French league, look, for 2 seasons in a row before going to Spain, which is cool. Let's carry on with this description here. I have won 41 trophies in 25 years, and the most special ones were 2 Champions Leagues and the World Cup with America. That's pretty cool. A USA World Cup win is quite fun in a Football Manager save, which was just a random side quest, and I never expected to win it. That's cool. Never before have I played a save for so long and achieved so many great things, so for me, it is really special, and I like to hear that. Football Manager saves, they can be special. This is true. I really think you invest a lot of time into these things, and when you feel that sense of achievement, that is special. You should feel like that as well. I'm here for it. By the way, I did just pick out, I've managed to find where he won that FIFA World Cup. It was the World Cup 2050 where he won it with the USA. Very cool. He didn't actually mention his time at Zaragoza. That is probably because he didn't actually ever win the league with Zaragoza. He went then to Spurs for a season, and whilst in 3rd place, left them to go to Wolves in the Championship, which I want to know what happened here. There needs to be more of a explanation about what happened at this part of your career, because that is so weird. 3rd in the Premier League to go and take the Wolves job in the Championship, to get them promoted, to then win the league immediately straight after that. And yeah, look, a Premier League win in your 1st season in the Premier League, then finished 7th, and then won the league 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. That is a very bizarre bit of bit of lore in this save, isn't it? Genoa, then we finished 4th and then won the league and then immediately left after winning it once to go to Alaves. He also, this is Wolves here where he says they became the best team in the world. Is there a Champions League win here at Wolves? There is. Look, there's one there. And that seems like it was just the one. There must be another Champions League later on down the line, maybe with Alaves towards the end of his time here. He won the third. Hang on a minute. What happened? Oh, no, that's when he went to Germany. I was like, what? He won the 3rd division? No. It doesn't seem like he actually did win the Champions League with Alaves, unless it was this one here. No, he won the league, though. First season with Alaves. And then what happened there? Did he win he won a manager of the month, and it's just only one manager of the year after already going to Alaves with Genoa. Look, that's why it's popped up there instead. And then Alaves, he didn't actually, that's probably why he didn't win a Champions League. He never actually won La Liga with Alaves, did he? Before moving to the 3rd division in Germany. He's not scared of taking a drop down, is Jamie in this save. And he's managed to build them up after winning the 3rd division. He then won the 2nd division, and now he finished 12th that season we looked at before in the Bundesliga, obviously with the aim to go and win the Bundesliga, I assume. He's also taken the Brazil job recently, which may be another World Cup win on there. Let's have a look at the manager history overall and compare it. I don't want to compare them because they're different. And this isn't about who won the most trophies because we're all on our own journeys, aren't we? But with 10 years to go, it's going to take some catching of the previous submission from Insurgent, isn't it? But 26 cups, 15 leagues, 1,841 games played, 1,236 won, 67% win percentage, which I think probably tells you that there's less likely to be things like save scumming, but also not too bad. There's also a lot of holidaying going on here, we have to say as well, which again, if that's how you play the game, that's absolutely fine. It's up to you how you do this. But it's also interesting to know, isn't it? He's also spent more than he's sold as well, which was different to our first save. But fair play, really cool, exciting journey, and I'm really glad that you find it so special and you've enjoyed it so much. That's what I love to hear with Football Manager. Let's have a look at our 3rd save. Okay, our 3rd save has been submitted by Giorgio. Now, Giorgio has what I think might be the best description of a save ever. He says, with capital letters involved a lot here, "My name is Georges Khan, and I'm the conqueror of Europe. I'm named after the great Genghis Khan. I'm from Rome like Julius Caesar. I was born on May the 5th, which is the day Napoleon died. And I also look handsome with long hair and a beard like Alexander the Great. So I have all the ingredients to be the leader of the world and dominate it with my power." Nope, just kidding. Fair play, though. That did get my attention. Thank you, Giorgio. No, just kidding. Georges is my nickname from when I was a child, and I made all the rest up to create my manager on this FM save. But I have to say, I feel a bit like a conqueror after completing this challenge I sort of created. We're in the year 2034 at this stage, and Georges is the manager at Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton are just off the back of winning the Premier League for the first time. They've got themselves 87 points. They've won the league. Carlos Varela was the top goal scorer who plays for Georges here at Brighton. He then says, though, "My goal was to win every top 5 league in Europe." It goes in line. It fits in with the other saves that we're doing in today's video, doesn't it? But with clubs that have never won any league in their history. So a bit like Jamie said in the last one, teams that are unlikely to win the league. Georges has taken it one step further. He's gone with teams that have never won the league in those countries. He says he also gave himself a few rules. He said max 3 seasons per club, change formation and tactics for every club I go to, and try not to sign players from my former clubs. Now, that's one thing I can never not do. That's part of the storyline for me, especially in like a journeyman type save. I have to bring the players with me. They're like my friends. They're like my children, even. I need to. So yeah, I can never do that one. But also, sometimes it can become a little bit OP, I suppose. If you have the best players, you know that they're really good and bringing them on, you can kind of build this team that you just take with you to different clubs. So I get it. It's understandable. He says he is Italian, so the best thing to do was start from Serie A, and he choose Atalanta. If we go to his managerial history here, then he starts at Atalanta. It's a bit of a shorter save, this one, but he's achieved a lot in it, as you can see. At Atalanta, he spent 2 seasons, won the league in his 2nd season, and also, did he win anything else? He won the European South American Club Challenge. Did he win, actually? He won the Europa League first season as well, which is quite fun. He gives a pretty big description for each of the parts of his story as well. So he says, in his first season, I won the Coppa Italia and the Europa League, as I just said, but finished 2nd in the league. No problem, because the following year we did great and we brought the first Serie A title to Bergamo. Very cool. The same thing basically happened in Germany, where I finished only 2 points away from Bayern in the first season. This is after he left to go to Leipzig, look. But he managed to win it in his 2nd season, as you can see. So at the moment, he's gone second, first in his 2 years so far. He's won the league with Atalanta and with Leipzig before moving to Villarreal. And guess what? Finishing 2nd and then first. Now, does he add anything else interesting about Spain? He says, now it's time for Spain where things got real. I was terrified of having to face Real Madrid and Barcelona with Villarreal. The team I found in the summer of 2027 was one of the worst I'd managed in the save, and he basically had to rebuild them from scratch without a great budget. Fair play. After a great summer window, he brought in players like Alcanus, Asnu and Ogbu. We're seeing a few of those players move this summer, actually, aren't we, in real life? We hit the ground running and managed to finish second. And then he says the big plot twist was that Man City bought Jeremy Pino for a massive amount. Let's go back and trace that all the way through. Man City signed him for £149 million, which he says he spent on a new strike partnership of Marcus Leonardo and Karim Konate, who were both pretty good. Things went on great. We scored lots of goals and we're about to win the league, but bottled it right at the end. And then in the second season, he actually went and won it. He says he won 9 games in a row, March to April, but still didn't win the league. And then Real Madrid won it. But in the second season, he made up for it and won the league again. And look, he did it again. The year after that with Rennes, he finished second and then first. And then he's kind of done that with Brighton, but is maybe a bit harder in the Premier League. He finished 6th, then 2nd, then eventually he's won the Premier League. Has he won a Champions League in his history? There's another Europa League there. There's not. I don't think he has won the Champions League. I'm going to say that needs to be the next part of this challenge if he was to continue it. But you don't have to. When you can have... He wanted to win the leagues. That was his aim. He managed to do that. He says, final chapter with Brighton. If PSG is Mount Everest, the Premier League is the whole Himalayas. I spent almost €1 billion trying to win the league in the first season where he finished not even close. But after a crazy third and final season where he was losing hope after some bad defeat, we finally managed to win the Premier League and close his great adventure. So he says that this is the end of his adventure at this stage. So after 11 years making history in 5 countries, winning a total of 18 trophies, spending nearly £2.5 billion. Let's have a look at the manager overview on here. Yeah, £2.02 billion spent, £1.88 billion brought in. He's won 13 cups, 5 leagues, 593 games played, 428 won, 72% win percentage. It's pretty dominant. No Champions League in there, but I'm going to give him it. It's a nice story. He also finishes by saying, sorry, Clayts, if I went a bit long. I wanted to relive all the agony I felt in the past months playing this challenge. Thanks if you read it all. And Georges, I did read it all. Also, sorry for my English. As I said, I'm from Italy and I'm writing this without ChatGPT. Fair play to you. Love your content. Have a great day. Love your content. Thank you for, you're literally providing my content. Thank you, Georges, for sending it in. Let's have a look at our 4th save. All right, then our 4th save is this one here, courtesy of Morton, who is in the year 2045. Very similar to our previous saves in that regard, a long way in the future. Currently managing Barcelona. No, don't worry, it's not just a Barcelona save because that wouldn't be that interesting, would it? Instead, though, this is Morton, who says himself is a Real Madrid fan, currently managing Barcelona. He describes his save as the following. He says, I've never really been good at long saves. Typically, I start with a good team and get bored after a few seasons. So I set out with a goal of winning the top 5 leagues. Again, similar to the other saves that we've chosen for today's video, right? He does mention that he did go off script and slightly mental once with Bolton, but this save has now transitioned into a revenge story against his beloved Real Madrid. Hence why he's ended up here at Barcelona. Now, there's a bit of a long read here, but I'm going to go with it because I like you guys to tell the story of your saves a little bit in your own words as well, I suppose. He says he started with Bordeaux. If we go back to the start of his career here, he begins his journey, his adventure with Bordeaux in the 2nd division in France. He then moved to Monaco and won the French league. So he actually won the 2nd division with Bordeaux, got promoted and was 7th in the league when he jumped ship to Monaco before then finishing 4th and then winning the league in his first full season at the club, I suppose, is the way that you probably see this, right? So it's a good start. He's won the French league, and then you'd imagine he's won one of his 5 top leagues. He's going to make a move and go across to Portugal next. At Portugal, he goes to Sporting, where he wins the league in his first season and also takes the Denmark job. Now, Morton himself is Danish, so this one again makes a bit of sense. He describes this part of his career as well as follows. He says, whilst in Portugal, he turned a lad called Alessio Rosa. Let me just search up Alessio Rosa because he says in brackets who. Yes, exactly. Alessio Rosa turns into a world superstar during his time in Portugal and ends up scoring 47 odd goals. Look at that. Look, for Sporting Lisbon here, after signing for £8.5 million from Empoli, scores 57 goals in 44 appearances, 39 league goals in 30 appearances to win that Portuguese league and a couple of trophies. He then says he moves to Roma, in game as Capitoline to win them the Serie A title. We've also got some national games with Denmark in there. He does win Serie A in his first season and the second season and the third and the fourth and the fifth, and gets himself the job at Argentina. There's no major international accomplishments as of yet, even though he's been the manager of Denmark and now Argentina. But that's okay. He then moves, and this is where he says he goes crazy after becoming so dominant with Roma. Did he win a Champions League with Roma? Let me just check that. He did. He won the Champions League twice, both complete accidents, he says. And then he says his most mental moment comes when he moves to Bolton, who had been relegated to the National League North. He's gone from Champions League winning to the National League North. That is such a curveball for a save like this, isn't it? We have seen it, I suppose, with other saves that we've looked at today. You know, managers jumping down one division, but not quite going from the top of Serie A to the National League North with Bolton. He did get them promoted, look, pretty quickly. He won the National League North, then the National League, then League Two, then League One, finished 7th in the Championship, and didn't even finish the story with Bolton. Surely you feel the same as me watching this, right? Surely after doing all of that, you have to see it through and get them to the Prem and win it. But no, he gets the Man United job and finishes 6th. That is a rubbish... I mean, let's see what he says about it. He says, my mental moment, I moved to Bolton, who had been relegated to the National League North. I'd never played lower league in England before, so why not? I guess that... I mean, yeah, why not? I won a lot, but messed up the squad and was playing with League Two players in the Championship. Okay, maybe that explains it a little bit. Maybe he's like, I'm never going to get promoted here, or at least for a long time. Then the opportunity comes to go to Manchester United. So he decided that was the time to take it. I guess that kind of it makes me still feel a bit sad, though, for Bolton. He got them so far, and I assume, let me just check where they are now. They're back in League One, look. So you've kind of done them dirty a little bit there. I have to say it. You've gone to United, did win the league with them, look, in your second season. Then had the Spain job. Did you win a World Cup? You won the European International League and won the French Youth International with the Spain Under-20s, which is fun. But yeah, not really, unless this is a World Cup. He did win a World Cup. Okay, the most recent thing he's actually done in the save. Or, oh no, we've got way more. The one at the top of the page then, he did win a World Cup. With United, he did win the Premier League in his second and third season. And then there's more to it, look. He went to Liverpool. Oh my word, imagine changing between Manchester United and then Liverpool and then finishing 6th with them. You wouldn't be very popular in the Northwest, would you? He then got the Brazil job after winning the World Cup with Spain and after being the Argentina job. You don't care about rivalries, quite clearly. You really don't care about rivalries. You've even, look, I suppose, as a Real Madrid fan, just taken on the Barcelona job. So after United, you went to Liverpool and Brazil. Did you win a World Cup with Brazil? Not there. You won a Copa America, so not bad. That seems to be it, though. After Liverpool and after winning the league for 3 seasons in a row, is there a Champions League in there? There is a Champions League in there. Is there a Champions League in there? No. Is there a Champions League in here? Yes, there is. There's a couple of Champions Leagues, one with Liverpool, then Hertha Berlin, then won the league, and then jumped ship to RB Leipzig. I mean, that's not a great jump either in Germany, and won the league with them before jumping ship from Leipzig, now ending up at Barcelona. What a journey this has been. What do you say about that? Do you talk about why you hate Real Madrid so much? You say you decided to move to United and save a fallen giant. They failed to what, 6? Found a very nice Brazilian wonder kid named Percy. I mean, we're going to have a look at a Brazilian wonder kid called Percy, aren't we? Here he is, a striker at United, 29 years. Yeah, he's quite good. I'll say that. I will go as far as saying quite good. 247 goals and 318. Yeah, nice. 70 caps for Brazil, 67 goals. Yeah, he's average. He's all right, isn't he? What happened after this then? He says, when United didn't want to give me the funds to renew his contract and having negotiated for about half a year, I gave them an ultimatum and they kicked me out of the door. So you left them because they didn't let you have the money to re-sign Percy to a new contract. And because of that, you went to Liverpool. So actually, you didn't jump ship. You actually got sacked, I suppose. Does it say it on your manager timeline? It probably will say it if we scroll all the way back. There's your resignation from Liverpool there. Where's the end of the road at Manchester United here? There is 1,000 games. Continue still at Liverpool here. I quit. Morton, you did resign then. And then become the Liverpool manager. You resigned on the 9th of July and then you had a few months off and became the Liverpool manager in December. And apparently that was after, Percy just scored 60 times, look, and they didn't let you have the money to go and do a new contract, so you resigned. Fair enough. That's quite... You also resigned as the national team manager. I assume that's with... I don't know where you were at that stage, but either way, you're all over the place. It's quite a ridiculous career here, isn't it? He says he took over at Liverpool, won the Premier League 3 times, Champions League twice. He needed to topple Bayern, so went to Hertha, and then Leipzig was a far more appealing option there, so you did that. Then the Barcelona job came available. Take a look at their manager history, he says. We need to have a look at Barcelona's manager history. They have had Xavi for 23 years as their manager, and then he was sacked. Imagine being sacked after 23 years in the job. 7 league wins, 12 cup wins, and now you're the manager there. That's good fun, isn't it? He finishes up by saying he's in his first season. The team's pretty bang average, and he's only really on top because Madrid and others keep messing up. He won almost half my games by 1 goal. But the games that we score a lot of goals. I do hope, he says this, I do hope to move back to Bolton and get them promoted into the Premier League, because he kind of regrets not having finished the job there. And I'm glad you said that, because that was my feeling looking at this. It feels sad to have just abandoned them and let them drop all the way back down to League One, look, after what you did with them. Are you a legend there or anything? You are. Oh, it says it there. Look, you are a no. You are. You're an icon there. I was going to say, because you left them where they were, they hate you now. But no, you are an icon at Bolton. Fair enough. He finishes with a final sentence that says, "For someone whose longest save might have been 5 seasons before this, I think I'm doing all right." Do you know what, Morton? I think you're doing all right as well. Let's move on to our final save of today's video. Okay, the final save of today's video is a bit of a change of pace. It's not quite the total domination saves that I've shared with you for the previous 4, but I did see it in the submissions and I thought it's a fun one to have a quick look at. It is a retro save and it has been submitted by Rust. Thank you, Rust, for sending in your save where you're currently at Napoli, but you've had a lot more time in this save with Fiorentina. And it's using a 1998-99 retro database. You might notice that by players such as Fernando Torres leading the line for Napoli here at the age of 23 and looking pretty good. He's also got Hazard and Messi as the 2 players behind you, with Wesley Sneijder in the midfield. Any other big names in there? Van der Sar is in goal. Look, how's Messi looking at... He's actually a new gen in the save at 20 years old. Yeah, he's pretty good. Eden Hazard, new gen. Yeah, I thought so at 16. This, though, is off the back. David De Gea's there. Look, Jonathan Woodgate is in the save there. I mean, I wanted to share this one with you because it's just fun looking at retro databases sometimes. I kind of feel like I should go and do a video with a retro database at some point. Just to maybe like a challenge or something in a different way. Let me know if you want to see me use some retro databases before the end of this game cycle, perhaps. Rust, though, describes his save as the following. He says, it's 98 retro database where I took charge at Fiorentina. Let's go and have a look at the job history here. At Fiorentina, and tried to bring back their domination in Italian football. In my first season, I managed to exceed expectations, leading them from a predicted 7th place to winning both Serie A and the Coppa Italia. So he won the league in his first season, and he managed to bring in some all-time greats like Ronaldinho, Kaká, and Zidane. Not too bad to be able to bring those players in. The captain at the moment is Buffon. Can we see on their tactics, do they have any of these players still there? Michael Owen leads the line with Kaká on the right hand side, Steven Gerrard in the midfield. How good's Gerrard looking at this stage? At 27, he moved to Fiorentina for 13 million. Imagine 13 million pounds, with Kaká on the right hand side at 25, moved for 4.7. I suppose you signed him from Brazil, but still 4.7 million pounds there. Owen, how's he looking? I like the English core. Okay, that's a bit more like it. 243 million Michael Owen has cost. What a player he would be in this save. What a player he'd be in the FM24 match engine, wouldn't he? With just pace and finishing, basically, isn't it? He says, though, he went on to win 3 consecutive Champions Leagues and even pulled off a sextuple in one season. Right, you are. Currently, the save is in the 2007-2008 season. In 2005, he switched to Napoli, who had been relegated to Serie B, which is why he decided to go there. There is also a little spell here at Manchester United and then Barcelona, which he doesn't seem to mention in his description, but we've ended up here at Napoli, look, after winning the league with Manchester United and winning the league with... Actually, not winning the league, leaving before the league had been completed with Barcelona to join Napoli in Serie B. He's done that thing where we've dropped down a division. Maybe it's the done thing, and maybe it's what you should be doing in your saves. Drop down a division and kind of start again. He finishes off with some notable achievements in the save. He says Zlatan Ibrahimovic scored an insane 82-goal season with Manchester United. Now, obviously, we have to go and have a look at this. He's still there at 25. Oh, my word. 89 goals in 54 games. 61 league goals and an 8.27 after signing for £102 million. That's pretty good. He also got 2 consecutive sextuples with Manchester United. He keeps going on about those. He won the World Cup with England, and he also created a player named James Porter, who he usually creates in FIFA, who became a brilliant player. He's a young wonder kid currently playing for Liverpool. I mean, he's very good, is James Porter. He says the plan is to keep the save going until around 2030. Now, in-game, it's 2031, but in-game, it's also 2007, 2008. So he wants to go for another 20-odd years. Hope you enjoy looking at the save, and I hope you find it interesting. I do find it interesting. I do want to see, before we go and do anything else, which player is on the most money in the save, because I feel like that's a way to just see sort of who the best players in the world are. Ronaldo at Barcelona is on 500k a week and is 30 years old. And yeah, he's quite good, isn't he? The old R9 Ronaldo. We got Jose Mari, Zanetti, Mancini, Ibrahimovic, Buffon. Joe Cole is on big money. Cristiano Ronaldo is there. You probably want to see him, don't you? There he is. We've seen Messi already. It's only fair. Ronaldinho at Barcelona. You said you had him at Fiorentina, right? And then sold him to Barcelona for 190 million pounds. That's cool. There's all those. Luke Chadwick is brilliant. Is actually doing well. He's on 275,000 pounds a week at Bayern Munich. You do love to see it. Thank you very much, though, to Rust for sending in this brilliant, wonderful save. And thank you to everyone who has submitted their saves. Will we have another one of these videos before FM26 comes out? I guess I'll have to see if there's any good submissions made between now and then. The link to submit a save is in the description of today's video. I'll also pin it as a comment because I do want to see if you've got any other brilliant saves that you need me to go and make a video on. Let me know by submitting them there. There's a little form, there's a Google form where you do it and you send in your save file. That's how I can open it up. I'd love it if you'd send me more because I like making these videos. You guys seem to like watching the videos. It kind of Stern John is at Inter Milan. That obviously just caught my eye there. Anyway, have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you very much for watching. Go and have a try at FM Kit Creator and create some kits for your game. And also subscribe to the channel because it'll be nice if you did that. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.